I'm moving my office outside today, so hopefully it doesn't get too windy or anything else too crazy out here. All right, day 3 of circles. Here's a little review of the first 2 days. Day 1 was you're given the center and you're given the radius, and that's all you need to write the equation of a circle. So if you're given everything you need, it should be pretty straightforward. You just enter in the x coordinate of the circle into the x parenthesis, and you change the sign, so positive 3 becomes negative 3, and you enter in the y coordinate of the center into the y parenthesis, and you change the sign, so negative 5 becomes positive 5, and you square the radius. You're done. All right, yesterday you weren't given the center or the radius, you were just given a picture, and you had to determine what the center and the radius was from the picture. So in this picture that I've drawn, the center is at 2, negative 1. So I will fill in the equation with that information. 2, negative 1 would be minus 2 and plus 1. So if your center is 2, negative 1, now you can go ahead and fill in the parentheses just like we did in example 1. You change the signs. And then the radius, if we could figure out what that is, we just square it, and that's what this is equal to. Well, to figure that out, you have to count straight up and down or straight across until you get to the edge of the circle. And if you count to the right, you can see that you're going to have to go over 2 spaces to get to the edge of the circle, so your radius is going to be 2. You have to go over 2 spaces to get to the edge of the circle, so your radius is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So there's your equation of the circle. All right, that's your review. Now for the new stuff for today's homework. You're given the center, so you're given half the information you need. That's nice. But you're given a point on the circle. So you're going to have to use the center and the point on the circle to find the radius. And to do that, it's Pythagorean theorem. It's finding the distance of a line that's a diagonal line. So how far over, how far up did it take you to get from one point to the next? And then you do Pythagorean theorem. So in this particular example, how do you get from the center to the point on the circle? Well, negative 3 over to 1, that's 4 spaces, and 2 up to 5, that's 3 spaces. So you had to go over 4 spaces and up 3 to get from the center to the point on the circle. So to know what the radius is the hypotenuse of the triangle. It is the diagonal. So I drew a little r in there for you. And you should all be able to figure this out. 3 squared plus 4 squared is 25. Square root of 25 is 5. So in this particular example, your radius is equal to 5. And the equation is radius squared. So you square that and you get 25. So there is your equation. X plus 3 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 25. And it was the good old Pythagorean theorem, which makes sense because that's where the equation of the circle is derived from, is the Pythagorean theorem. So another fairly simple set of problems for you tonight, and then we'll get into completing the square, and that's where the standard gets tricky.